Alright, so welcome to a new installment of Commentary Cuisine, where we're going to cook something today instead of baking something. We're gonna make a pasta, and we're not gonna make some kind of basic red ass pasta. I'm gonna go for a cream cheese, herbal kind of sauce that is really like one of my staples when I need to cook for like bigger companies because it fills up fairly well. It can be fine-tuned to be more healthy or to be a bit more like greasy, depending on the amount of calories that you actually need. So I'm very much enthusiastic to share this recipe with you guys. Going to go through the rest of through the bits now, or through the ingredients, I should say. So we're starting out with, in this case, a broccoli. You can like hand measurement in terms of portions, you need about 100 grams of vegetable per person, and per serving it's about like 50, it turns out to be like 50 grams with this formula recipe. So we've got that. We've got our part of what's most important for this recipe, and I'm going to show it on that one because this one's being a bit unclear, but it's basically boursin. Boursin is a cream cheese that like originates from the Burgundian part of France, and it's quite a famous staple over here. I don't even know if you guys have it over there, but I think you will have a facsimile. This specifically is more like a cream base, specifically for cooking. So this is a great base for your Italian kind of recipes. So we're going to use this. Now I'm going to add a little bit more to that because I've experienced that if you just use that, you'll just end up with not enough quantity for what you want in terms of like really being a sauce instead of like slightly marinating the ingredients involved. So we're going to add some cooking cream to that. This can be low fat. I'm using full fat because I need the calories, to be honest, with the amount I exercise. We're gonna add, because we are going to add some cooking cream, we're gonna add some extra cheese, same brand, garlic and herbs basically. On top of that, we are going to need like one chicken fillet for 2 people. So you can expedite from that, like exponentiate, that's the word I was looking for, into what you want more. And to finish it off, I've got some bacon bits. So we're going to get started. I'm going to make some preparations and I'll take you to everything from start to finish. Alright, so we've got our broccoli here. As I mentioned before, you can basically change this vegetable out for a couple of other things. Spinach is a smart alternative to it. What's so important about this one is you need like a vegetable that doesn't have like a very pronounced taste out of itself, or accentuates like the other pieces, which is the herbs that are in the cream and cheese. So I've mostly tried it with broccoli, but broccoli is one of my favorites. Spinach is another one. Both are good. You can't steer wrong either way, but I'm sticking with broccoli for this one. I've pre-washed my broccoli, so I'm just going to cut it now. Obviously wash my hands too. Depending on how much of the flour you actually have, which in this case is actually quite a good amount, you can choose to cut off more of the stem, because the stem just boils along with the crown. Has more vitamins in it comparatively as well, but I can imagine that not necessarily being like it's not specifically where the most tasty part of the broccoli comes from, basically. So as you can see, I'm cutting slightly underneath every individual stem. That way I can, like, I already have like hand chopped bits. Now I'm gonna encounter like a little forest of small trunks, and I'm gonna handle that in just one nice easy swoop like this. So I've got we want to add that one in. This one actually looks, I can do it. So I'm gonna deposit this in the garbage. So we've got our flowers over here. Basically, this is what you need to do. We're gonna pre-boil this, and after that we're gonna make sure that we're gonna cut our chicken before we get started on the rest. And as well, I'm gonna add the pasta when I do the broccoli in a different pot, but I'm gonna put them on it. So with the broccoli and this pasta like boiling in the background, we're gonna focus on our meat, which is chicken. Important with chicken is that you kind of try to, when working with chicken, you want to clean your hands both beforehand and afterwards. As I was saying before the pasta started almost boiling over. You want to wash your hands before and after, and mostly because of the bacteria that gets involved with chicken. Now, as a healthy, an even healthier alternative to this, if you dislike chicken, you can even include like your mild fishes, which will give it like a more general taste, will make it more Mediterranean, I guess, for this. So either wear your gloves or wear. I want to spread this out as much because I'm basically just going to dice it. We want this in small but frozen pieces. I saw a little vein there. It should clean itself out as I go through it. But I'm gonna double check in a second on the other side. There. Now make sure that you slice and dice them. They don't have to be like the exact same size, but try to get them in the same ballpark. That way, when you start like cooking them later, they'll get more even consistency in how it's baked, obviously. Cooked, grilled. It's not grilled because I'm not grilling it. Anyway. Moving on. So just as I said, like just cut them clean, small, well consistent pieces. Now, obviously, you can buy this pre-cut as well. But my father's side of the family was mostly butchers. Wow, that's actually bone. Yeah, no, we're good. Speaking of like having family of butchers, my grandfather would turn his grave on that. So we're gonna put this away. I'm gonna clean my hands again. Alright, so I've got the broccoli going over here, I've got like the pasta going on. Now I'm gonna need to clean my hands again. Anyway, so we're going to put it all together, and now we're going to get into the sauce. So I'm gonna lower the image so you guys can watch along. As you can see, I've got a wok kind of pan for this one, because in my experience it just kind of bakes everything more evenly. So we'll lighten it up. Now, due to the overall fat and grease, we don't actually have to add any kind of butter or oil. You can do a little bit of oil, but in general it's not needed. I did some oil with the pasta as well, just to make sure that it doesn't stick together. The broccoli is going to be going on for about like 10 to 15 minutes. Pasta less than that, and we're in the meanwhile we're getting this ready. So we've got a bacon in there, which is actually a bit on the lower side than I normally have. I tend to use about 200 grams on like a single batch, because that like permeates the flavor a bit more. As you can hear it sizzling. I'm gonna add the cubes of chicken in a second to help bake it all up. What you really want to do is you want to put it on as high a fire as you can. You kind of want to make sure that this really starts heating up, because you're going to need that heat later when you're making the rest of the sauce. So as we're mixing that in there, can see, it's actually pretty sizzling away right now. Got some of the juices, got some of the grease that's in the bacon, that's on the bottom there. Now, if you're not going to use bacon, then obviously you need something like butter or anything else, because we're gonna bake those chicken bits at the same time. And here's where the wok shape comes in, because it actually boils heat a lot more efficiently. So as you do this, make sure your chicken starts at least, turning white on the outside. Due to the base of the recipe, you don't have to worry too much about if the chicken's gonna get done, because there's a phase in there that makes sure that if any chicken at some point is still pink on the inside, it's going to boil basically the rest of the way until it's fully done. So when it comes to fucking up your chicken, you can't really go wrong here. Just make sure that it starts at least having an outside white. Just keep going. Alright, so give it about a minute or two, everything's starting to look moving very well. Now, here comes the actual meat of most of the recipe. We're going to start with the cuisine. I'm going to open up. Nice white. Put the herbs in there. This is a big spoon. We're going to spoon it out in one go. But wait, there's more. You have the cooking cream here. To use the same spoon to get all the resting bits off of it with the heat that's in the pan, basically to. That was smart. Get all the rest of the herbs out there, but we're still gonna need the for this one. Herbs is right outside. So we've got that going on, which is basically the cream and the cuisine itself, which actually still has a little bit more in there. If I look at it, that's a bit of splatter. We call it nerves, cooking nerves. Now we're gonna add the whole cheese because I'm basically doing this for a batch of 4 people. But per 2 you can basically do half of this amount. Kind of really depends on how you want to go about it. Get a nice spoon for that, and we're just gonna start breaking up that cheese. Making sure that we keep stirring. Making sure that the cheese starts melting in there, so we get a nice white sauce base. Go. Make sure you stir it evenly, and as you go. And as you let this settle in, you actually lower the fire to simmer, so you can make time for yourself to empty these out. So I actually learned, I've been told off that this is a coriander or a couleander, and I don't know which one is the proper pronunciation. There we go. Wow. But I'm gonna actually put out the fire on the back end of these two, since I know my stove, I know that these handlebars are going to be hot. We're gonna start with the pasta actually. Keep stirring your sauce. So, I really love this recipe. Yes. So we're adding our pasta, which in this case is tagliatella. I prefer tagliatella over, for instance, spaghetti. You can do this with basically any kind of pasta you want. It does not really matter that much. What does matter is that you don't do things like tortellini, which have like their own meat flavored or cheese flavored filling. At least I can't recommend it because I haven't tried it myself. So you start mixing mixing in the pasta. It's still on a low fire, so it's still simmering a little bit. As soon as you make it rest, and then we're gonna drain the broccoli and add that in there as well. So we're adding in the drained broccoli, which is actually going to give it a little bit more color because it tends to turn white. Now, because you've had like the broccoli on for like a prolonged period of time, it actually cuts really easily, which is what you want. You want some bigger parts in there, and you want like the soft flavor of it like going in throughout the recipe. Now if you're gonna use spinach for this, make sure that you drain the spinach properly, because any kind of extra moisture might actually fuck up like the total balance of the recipe. Alright. So we're gonna leave this for like about 5 minutes. We're gonna do a regular stir during those 5 minutes, and I'm gonna serve it up and I'm gonna show it to you. Alright, so it's been like 5 minutes. The sauce has got a bit more time to thicken in, which is kind of important when it comes to the cream part of it. I'm gonna show you guys on the camera down below the way it ended up looking, which is, it doesn't necessarily look appetizing, but it tastes so fucking good. So I'm gonna get like an just for that one. Now you wanna, for the serve up, you wanna do a good amount of pasta. Make sure there's broccoli and a bit of bacon in there. You can scoop those out specifically. It smells so fucking good. Now this last part is also, I'm gonna put this back for a second. As I was saying, this last part is also kind of important. I'm going to show it a little bit closer. Up here, looks a little bit like green. I want to add some cheese in there. I always do it when it's still hot. That way it melts. And as you stir it through, as I was saying, as you stir it through, it starts becoming like stringy. Like it's sitting there. Now I choose like a spicier cheese in there, which you don't need to, because like there's enough herbs in there to make this. Now to highlight once again the little tweaks you can do to make this a little bit more healthier or lower on the calories. You can use a lighter cooking cream. You don't necessarily need the cheese. I just like the intensity of the flavor that goes along with it. Obviously you can go spinach, and if you really want to, fish, which is even ever so slightly healthier than chicken is. If you do fish, leave the bacon out. It's not going to mix well. It's not going to taste in the same way as you want it to. So if you do fish instead of both the chicken and the bacon. Spinach in there is very nice as well. It changes the overall bite of the food a little bit, but all in all, it doesn't detract. It adds just a little slight twist to it. Now I've given it a little bit of time to just show you out with the stringy cheese in there. Really looks good. So I'm gonna be eating this. Not in front of you guys though. So this was it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys try it out at home. Let me know in the comments if you do. And if you have any kind of suggestions or tweaks to it, I might actually collect all of those and do them in an update later. Later this week, I've got like a request from a streamer to do a specific cocktail, so watch out for that one as well. And I guess that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next upload. Now you gotta know how to roll. So just take a little bit. Do it like this. This is even just a little bit too much, but I have a big mouth.